everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to episode 2 of Journal in January. Now this is where we're going to build a journal and we're going to follow the story of my adventures to create last year to the Anna Griffin experience of a lifetime, where I was lucky enough to be able to teach. Now throughout the course of January we're going to be creating a page a day and we're going to prep the journal today. Now yesterday I ran through a few of the items that we're going to be using, but today we're going to be more hands-on. So you might want to kick your slippers off and get a cup of tea and sit back and relax, because today's I'm going to kind of fast forward part of it, I think, or maybe continue the rest off camera until tomorrow and then we can get on with our first pages. However, today's more of a we're prepping. We're not doing so much making, we're just prepping. So the journal that I'm using is from Paperchase, and as I mentioned yesterday, it was on that very large auction site and I got it for a song, as they say. So I think there was 100 and odd pages in it, but I don't need all those pages. So what I've done is I've started from the back and I've started removing the pages. Now for anybody that's a bit unsure, all you simply do is tear the page out like that. I've not torn the very back of the journal out because there's already a pocket in there. However, I've started on the pages to tear them out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave those pages in. We're going to need 30 odd pages. Now when we get to the end of creating the journal, if there's more than I need in there, I will remove them. But for now, we shall leave those in. Now before we do anything, I would say structural to the journal, we're going to add some ribbon. And I'm going to turn the journal round because I need to be at this section here. Now, I showed you yesterday that I've made some tassels using the Anna Griffin Tassels dies. I've also got some thin ribbon, and I want the ribbon to be roughly to about there in length, because we're going to tie it, and I'm going to tie it onto the journal with one of the tassels. Now I'm actually going to cut the ribbon again to the same length. This is where you need a cup of tea to sit and watch, because you know there's quite a lot of different bits in this. I'm not too fussed if it's not quite the same, and then I want one that's maybe just a touch shorter. So it's 3 pieces of ribbon and I'm using I think it's roughly about 6 millimeters in size. So I've got 3 strands of ribbon, and I'm going to start with the first one, and I'm going to simply wrap it into the spiral of the actual journal. I'm going to slip one of the tassels onto it like that, and then I'm going to take 2 ends and I'm going to tie the ends. Now this is going to go through the centre of the book anyway, it's not on the outside, and I'm going to make a little knot there, and hopefully that will hold like so. And then what I can do is do the next one and slide it through again, just like we did the last one, and again add the tassel like so, and then knot that one, and we can make the ends nice and neat and trim them with scissors, or if you leave the ends a little bit longer you could add beads onto them. That would look great, so that they would be hanging over the edge. So that's our second one. And then we've just got one more to add, and they're our bookmarks that we'll be able to use for the different pages. So because it's all about the prep today, so maybe this bit doesn't interest you, or maybe you're thinking, you know what, I could incorporate this technique into that recipe book that I've always said I'm going to make. And you could make one for every page, and you could even write on them what the recipe was, so that as they hang out the bottom or the top, because you could do them in reverse, you'd be able to see. So I've now got 3 tassels. That one wants the edges trimming slightly. Take it back to the top. Now, there are my 3 tassels hanging on ribbon. So I can open my journal and add these through whatever pages I want to add them. I know it goes off shot because my shot's not wide enough. But there's my 3 tassels. And I'm just going to add them just into the first page, as it were, just to keep them out the way for now. So next what we're going to do is we're going to build the journal front. And the first thing that I've got is a piece of black cardstock. And the black cardstock I've cut to fit just slightly smaller than the journal. I've also taken it through the Xyron machine. And now I have a piece of gold ribbon. You can see that the card is just slightly smaller than the front. I'm going to add a piece of ribbon, and the ribbon is roughly 3 inches, and I'm going to literally curl it over like that to form just a little tab on the side. So it looks like that on the back. Don't worry about not having it even, because you're not going to see that bit. I'm just going to add a little bit of extra double-sided tape over that, and just to hold it in place. And then I can take the back of the tape away like so, using my wonderful pokey tool. There we go. And then I can add this to the front like so. There we go. Now the next thing is a next layer for this. I've used Anna's Anna Griffin Easter and Love stamps, and there's a stamp that is very ornate that I've stamped using permanent ink onto the craft card that we've taken out of the book. And what I've done is I've added some tonic Nouveau drops just to add a tiny bit of colour. Okay. Now I've got to be honest, I've also cut sections at either side of the stamp design. And then for some reason that I really don't know why, I put it through the Xyron machine. And now it's going to make it quite difficult to thread the actual paper through, because normally I would have used double-sided tape. You can see how I've made the cuts. So I'm going to try my best to thread the paper through where I've made the cuts with a craft knife. However, if it starts not working, then I might have to just give up. Now it looks like it might work, but the thing is, because you've got the all over adhesive underneath, it makes it very awkward for paper threading. So just my opinion. So, but fingers crossed we're going to get this to work. and I'm not making it look as fiddly as it could be, shall we say. We've done lots of paper threading before, and you'll see I've left it on the sheet just to try and help me a little bit for not getting it stuck over everything. So the paper I'm threading through is from the Rose collection from Anna, one of my favourite papers, and I'm hoping that this is we're just going to get this to work, because it's going to look so effective. And you see, I'm human as well, so I made a whopping mistake by putting it through my Xyron machine. But I wanted to show you the threading, and I honestly don't know why. I came in one morning and I thought, oh yeah, I need to prep that for the journaling, and popped it through the machine. So I've been nice and honest with you, and this has worked a treat with our paper threading. So we'll just try and move it down a little bit, because let's not forget this is the front of our journal, so we want it kind of flat, because it will be handled a lot. So that's one thread of our paper. Now we're going to do the same at the top, and for anybody watching, I do normally know what I'm doing, but for some reason I really didn't this particular day. So we're going to thread our second piece through our stamping and the cut lines I've made using a craft knife. I'm trying to kind of like show you on the front how it just goes in and out. I want to say with ease, but today it's not with ease. Just don't do as I do. Don't put it through the Xyron machine. Put tape on it after. So it's threading nicely now, and go through the next one, and then hopefully we're going to look something like, we're getting there, As I say, it's just silly me for doing that. I really don't know. But then when I've done it, and I thought, oh no, I can't stamp it all again, because it looks so good with the stamping. And I thought, you'll understand that I'm not human. Well, I am only human. And hopefully the end result will make up for my boo-boo. So this is the last one that we're threading through, and pull it. It's kind of tough paper, so it's working well. Okay, whoa, there we go. So we can trim that little edge off, and then we can peel this away from our Xyron backing, trim that section away, and then press this onto the front of our journal. And that looks so good. You can see the colour of that paper just coming through from the stamping. And now we need just that little bit more on it, I think. Now at home, what I would do is when we've finished the actual front of the journal, if I thought that the colour might run or it's going to get handled a lot, I would probably cover it with a protector, like something, I don't know, the decoupage glue that you can get in a matte finish. Is it Mod Podge, something like that? And that I think would work quite well. Now you can see I've got a piece of the Rose collection that matches the strips that we've just used, and I'm going to add that to the centre of our journal. And I'm just kind of adding it there. There we go. Like so. And then because we need to give our journal a title, what I've done is I've stamped one of Anna's stamps from the Easter and Love collection. And again, I've used the craft card and I'm simply going to add it through the centre. And that now ties the whole front of our journal up. And doesn't that look cool for a journal? Create for 2018. So that's the front of our journal. Now the next thing is quite a long-winded part of the prep for the journal. I'm not going to do it all on camera. This is the bit that I will carry on, and then when you see it tomorrow it'll be done. But I want to add tabs to my pages. Now I'm not going to use the first page. I'm going to keep that nice and clear. The tabs I'm going to make are from masking tape, from washi tape. I've taken 31 pieces of washi tape through my rolls of washi that I've purchased to make the journal. I've cut them into virtually 3-inch long strips. And what I'm thinking is, I am going to add them. I'm going to turn the journal just so I can see it. And I'm going to add them to the pages and fold them over to make a tab. Now, they don't have to be size specific. You are simply just making that tab and folding it over. And then you're going to pick another tape and going to use it for the next page. So every page is going to be different. And you're going to kind of marry them up and then fold it over again to add it to the back, like so, and then pinch it together. It doesn't matter if they're not quite right, so we can turn that one away and go to the next one. And so we end up with about 1 inch of tape on the page, and if we don't get it straight we can remove it. So we can then turn it over and put the back of it on the page behind. Nip it together. So we're going to build up the edges of our journal. Now the beauty of washi tape is, if you don't quite get it straight, it will peel off. If you want to move it, you can do. If you want to reposition it, you can do. And then eventually it will stick and stay there. Now, a handy use for washi tape is when you're die cutting, and you can use it to hold your dies in place. And this one really doesn't like to be straight at all. Now, I'm not kind of that fussed about having them really straight, but I don't want a massive crease where I'm adding it. So we'll just do that one again, and hopefully that will be no better than the last one. Oh, it doesn't like me, doesn't that piece? So we'll just try that once more while we're chatting, because I think making sure this isn't creased is going to be kind of like vital, shall we say. So you can see I can just keep removing it and getting it straight until I'm happy with it, like that. And we can build up all our tabs down the edge until we've got them all on every page. And you can see that I'm simply trying to get them in position from the previous tab. I'm not measuring because sometimes measuring can take the fun out of crafting. So we're just keeping it to happy crafting, I would say. And we're just going to build up all those page tabs. Now, lucky you, I'm not going to make you sit and watch me do this for all of them. So I will finish this off out of camera range. And then tomorrow, when you tune in, we'll have all the tabs down the side. Now, I think for preparation for today, I think we've done quite a lot because we've got the front created, we've got our gorgeous tassels bookmarks on, and they're going to be able to be used for different pages throughout, or just have them as a hanging embellishment because they look good as they are. So we'll see what we can use those for as we go, and then I can add all the washi tape down the edge, and then when you come back tomorrow, we're going to start with our photos and building up our journey. So I would like to say thank you for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and hopefully you're enjoying, I know we're only on episode 2, and I know some of you can't wait to kind of like see how it all unfolds, and it's just, for me, very, very exciting to be able to do this for you. So I shall see you tomorrow.